Lots of the commands that we use require some information on the command line to work. Data to work on, to work with, names of files to work with, any of a number of things. A lot of the time we can just use static data. In other words, put an actual file name or user name or process name or whatever is appropriate. That command, if we use it in a script, is the same command every time the script runs because the data is static. It doesn't change. Sometimes you need that data to be adapted to or adjusted based on when the script runs. Now, if you use static data, you could go in with an editor and change the script every time, but it's better to have the script figure out what data to put in. Doing that is using dynamic data. So this is using data that can change each time that the script or command runs. We've already seen one way to do this. If we use a variable on our command line, it will look up the content of the variable. Depending on what the variable is and how we get our data into it, that content can change every time we run our command. Think of the random variable, for example. Another way to get data onto your command line that's more powerful or flexible is to actually have another command run, produce output, and have that output placed on your command line. If I wanted to put the day of the week into an output statement from my script, there's a command I can use to find the current date of the week. It's the date command with the options plus %A. It'll tell me the day of the week. Depending on which day I run this, I can get different answers. If I wanted to use that data as opposed to just having it come out by itself as the output of that command, I need to get that output onto another command line. For example, to assign it to a variable. The way you do that is you put $parentheses around the command that you want to run. It will run that command in a separate shell process, a subshell. Take the output from that command and place it here on the command line as a substitution, just like a variable substitution. And then it will assign that data to today variable. You could then look at the variable and you'll find that it has that data in it. Any command that can generate data can be used to do this. Beware of commands that generate large volumes of data. They can actually make your command line too long to run. So you wouldn't use this for something that generated many megabytes of data. But you can go ahead and use this, since $parentheses, inside of double quotes as well. So if I wish to use this kind of command as part of a text string I was producing, I could go ahead and do that. I could even save it into a variable. If I place it all inside double quotes, there's a single token or word on the right-hand side of my equal sign, so we'll all get assigned into the variable. The $sign works inside of the quotes, as do the parentheses. So the command will execute and the output will go in. Then the entire text will be turned into a single token. And then the value that's on the command line there will be assigned into the variable. Today is not a command. I should have typed a date. Then I can look in that variable and I'll see that the entire string is in there. There is another mechanism you can use, another way of typing this that works exactly the same way. And that is, instead of $parentheses, to put back quotes. Around the command you want to run. So this command has a subshell that will run date plus %A, which output will be placed here. Then the quotes will be evaluated so that all of this data gets assigned to new var. And when we look at new var, we'll find that it worked just like the $parentheses did. This is a very useful mechanism for getting data into your variables or into your script for use in strings from virtually any command in the system. Just be aware of large volumes of data.